Is Duke Nukem Manhattan Project a hidden gem? That is a good question that I seek to answer in my review today. So I would like to start things off by saying that I think that Duke Nukem Manhattan Project is a mighty fine game, but this port is not good. So this game initially came out on PC in 2002. And the Xbox version came out in 2010, so that was like an 8-year gap. And for a port of a game that was 8 years old when this port came out, the performance issues are horrible. Like, you think an 8-year-old game being ported to the Xbox 360 would run without any problems, but no, this game has frame rate drops, screen tearing, lag. On multiple occasions, I would glitch through walls, I would glitch through floors, and that, again, this is a port of a then 8-year-old game on next-gen hardware for the time, and it just runs so bad. Now, I mean, it didn't run bad all the time, but it's like, why did this port have so many performance issues? I mean, again, I think that this is a good game, but it's just like, y'all, come on, they could have done better than that. Now, the performance issues out of the way, I would like to say that, in my opinion, this game is pretty graphically impressive. I haven't played a ton of games that came out in 2002, but this game does have some really detailed environments, some really detailed backgrounds. Duke himself doesn't look great, but the enemies, they all look really great. So this game is graphically pretty impressive in my opinion. Now, I will say this for the game, by today's standards, Duke Nukem Manhattan Project is a very hard game. Like, I haven't played a ton of games from 2002. You know, I'm more of an Xbox 360 gamer, but this game, it is very hard by today's standards. I played this game on the easiest difficulty, and I struggled a lot, especially in the tail end of the game. The first half of the game, it was more or less a breeze, but the tail end of the game, the difficulty definitely got ramped up quite a bit. And I actually thought of the PlayStation boss saying that modern games are too hard, and I'm over here looking at Duke Nukem Manhattan Project, and I'm like, modern games are not too hard. Like this is a pretty tough game. There are several things that make this a tough game. Some things are fair, some things are not so fair. One thing I think that makes this game unfairly hard is horrendous camera angles sometimes. And the fact that the camera is really zoomed in and you can't see very far ahead of you and you can't see what's around you very well because of how far the camera is zoomed in. Now, I would like to note that the zoomed in issue was fixed with the Zoom Platform remaster of this game. You can zoom out a lot more. But anyways, back to the Xbox version. Sometimes you literally could not see Duke Nukem. You literally could not see where you were because you would have to walk behind something and now you can't see yourself. Or there might be an enemy hiding behind something and you literally cannot see them because of the fixed camera angles. And that felt kind of unfair to me. That felt kind of cheap. And again, with the super zoomed in camera, sometimes I would be really struggling to figure out where I was supposed to go because I just couldn't see it, because it just wasn't visible. You know, you might have to like stand at a very specific frame and stretch the camera as far as it will go to see what you're supposed to jump on or where a certain item is. I thought those two things were kind of cheap, kind of cheesy. Again, I've heard that the Zoom Platform remaster fixed the zoomed in camera problem, but for the Xbox version that was kind of annoying. Now, difficulty things that felt more fair were things like environmental hazards, tough enemies, tough bosses. This game, well, as you can see, it's a platformer, and every now and then there were some pretty lengthy jumps you might have to make, or a lot of like one-hit environmental objects. You just barely touch them, and then you die. And the final boss, especially, I played this game on the easiest difficulty. I tried to play it on normal initially, but playing this game on easy, even the final boss was pretty tough. He took me somewhere between like 7 to 15 times to beat. I mean, I wasn't counting it, but he definitely had my number, and it did feel great overcoming him. This game definitely has a challenge that newer games don't have, so if you are looking for a more challenging game, I would definitely say to give this one a spin. But yeah, this game isn't going to hold your hand. Now, combat-wise, this game is a absolute blast when it comes to combat. It's a run and gun platformer, which is definitely a callback to Duke's early days of like 1991, 1992, something like that, when Duke Nukem 1 and 2 came out, and he debuted as a platformer, so it was pretty cool for this game to be a callback to Duke's history of being a run and gun platformer. But anyways, you have a pretty impressive weapon selection in this game. You have a Duke's gold pistol, a shotgun, a machine gun, an RPG, a pipe bomb, and a couple weapons that I want to say are only on Manhattan Project. I haven't seen them in any other Duke game, being a pulse rifle and some sort of a goo gun. So all the other guns are pretty self-explanatory, but the pulse rifle was kind of this energy gun, and you can charge it up to have more powerful shots, or you can just semi-auto fire it. I believe that's what it's called. Now the goo gun, that gun was really creative. So basically you shoot an enemy with it, you'll have to shoot them for a few seconds, and it basically reverts them to a primitive state, if you will. So a lot of the enemies in this game are like mutated creatures, like the pig cops. There are also big rat enemies, there are big cockroach enemies, and basically you shoot them with the goo gun and it turns them back to a primitive state. Like the pig cops turns into a little pig, the cockroaches turns into a cockroach, the rat then just turns back into a rat, and you can stomp on little enemies. There's an achievement for doing that 50 times, I believe. So the goo gun was really cool. Now, as far as weaponry goes, one thing that I wasn't a huge fan of was how a lot of weapons shared ammo reserves. I found that to be a little frustrating. The pistol, shotgun, and machine gun, they all shared one ammo. The pipe bombs and the RPG, they shared one ammo. The pulse rifle and the goo gun, they shared an ammo. That was a little frustrating at first, but you do eventually get used to it. But I wouldn't have minded if all guns had an individual ammo stockpile. Now, apart from fighting enemies, and combat is really fun, apart from fighting enemies, you do have a couple objectives in every level. So in every level, you have to rescue a girl who's strapped to a bomb, and you also have to find a key card and use it to unlock a door, which you need to finish the level. And you have to do both of those objectives to complete the level. But other than that, it's just run around, collect stuff, shoot enemies, and there are these little collectibles called nukes. They're little green icons, if you will, and if you collect 10 of them in a level, there are 24 levels in total, and if you collect 10 of them in a level, you get a upgrade to your max ammo and your HP. Now that being said, it's only like a 2 HP boost, so it's not worth going super out of your way for, but if you do happen to collect all 10 nukes on a level, more power to you. Now, about the health system, Duke Nukem Manhattan Project adopted the Ego system from Land of the Babes, where basically you kill enemies to restore health. You know, it's not like Duke Nukem 3D where, you know, you have a health bar and you have to either use the med kit or find medical items to heal up. Now, you can find medical items, sure, but you also restore your health from defeating enemies, and I thought that was really cool. And you actually have no maximum health limit. I thought that was really cool. You can charge it up as high as you possibly can, but that being said, you do have like a max base health of 100%, 100 points of health, and once you go over that, you know, your health starts dropping like 1 or 2 health for every second. So while you don't have unlimited health, you do have a maximum base health, if you will. But overall, the ego system, the health system, is really cool in this game, if you ask me. And I think that does largely wrap up gameplay. This game does actually have a pretty solid story that's told to you through some voice lines and little info blobs in between chapters, and there are a couple cutscenes in this game, and the story was actually pretty solid. John St. John, he returned to voice Duke. He did a great job. There are 2 or 3 other voice actors I saw in the credits. They did pretty good jobs as well. The music in this game is pretty good, especially the reimagining of the grab bag theme. Now the soundtracks, or the sound effects, sometimes they were good, sometimes they were a little annoying. That was just hit or miss for me. The controls to this game, the controls were pretty good. Duke Nukem Manhattan Project. You know, I think that says about everything about the game itself. Is this a hidden gem? I think I'm going to say yes, and I give this game a 8.5 out of 10 by my grade scale. Is that my favorite Duke Nukem game? No, but is it a pretty fun game? Yes, and again, I really do like that this is a throwback to Duke Nukem's roots of being a run-and-gun platformer. Now, a couple of notes apart from my review. This game is $10 on Xbox. The PC version is only $6 on Zoom platform. So if you're not sure if you want to sink the full $10 into it, and if you're an Xbox guy and a PC guy like myself, maybe look into the PC version first because it's cheaper. But the Xbox 360 version does come with 2 avatar awards, one being a t-shirt, which is just meh. Now the other avatar award is really cool, and that is Duke Nukem's jetpack. You get that one for beating the game on any difficulty. That's really cool. This game does also come with a couple of gamer picks. I don't remember how you get the first one, and you get the second one for getting all the achievements in the game. These gamer picks, they weren't anything to get hyped up over, but you know, they were a nice throw-in. And yes, I did get all of the achievements in this game. Duke Nukem Manhattan Project is very easy to 100% achievement-wise. As far as like, the achievements themselves are pretty straightforward. 8 achievements you get for just beating the chapters, and the rest of the achievements are pretty easy, pretty straightforward and self-explanatory. Yeah. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention is that some of the achievement art is kind of cheap. You know, I'll have a screenshot that you can see on screen, and a lot of the achievement icons are pretty much just the same picture recycled but with a slightly different background. That felt a little cheap in my opinion, but oh well, what are you gonna do? As far as a similar video game I could suggest, you might like a game called Final Exam. You can get that one on Steam. It's a somewhat similar game. You might like it if you liked Duke Nukem Manhattan Project. And I'd say that wraps up my review for today. If you couldn't tell, this video was not scripted. I do have some notes, but not a full script. And for anyone who's new here, I mostly review and discuss Xbox 360 games, so do feel free to check out some of my other vids if that sounds like your thing. A huge thanks if you stuck around to the end. I really do appreciate it. And like always, all of my content is man-made, and I never consent to my voice and likeness to be modified, altered, and copied by robots in any way. And I always try to have a Bible verse of the day in my videos. So for today, we are reading Proverbs 4:6 NIV. Do not forsake wisdom, and she will protect you. Love her, and she will protect you. Alrighty, I feel like I've been talking really fast in this video. I'm like an auctioneer. You know, give me $1, give me $2, give me $3. Anyways, thanks a lot for watching, y'all. Really do appreciate it. I'm thirsty. I want to go drink some water, and my foot's falling asleep. So, peace.